All right, welcome to our digital class presentation. We will be exploring racial violence through the artwork of Kara Walker. In this group, you have myself, Jessie, Kyla, and Lara. So Kara Walker was born November 26th, 1969. She is an American contemporary painter, silhouettist, printmaker, installation artist, filmmaker, and professor who explores things like race, gender, sexuality, violence, and identity in her work. She is best known for her room-sized tableaus of black cut paper silhouettes. So Kara Walker's art exhibits the truths of contemporary racism and misogyny while using images of a violent antebellum reality. And Walker cuts out silhouettes from black paper to explore inequalities during the 19th century. America abolishing slavery did not end discrimination, and Walker wants the viewers to see the connection between the 19th century and today. So you can see in the images on the slide, she's using those 19th century figures to look at the racism that was occurring at that time, but then also looking at what's happening in today's society with racism and having viewers look at that and find the connection between those things. So Walker's use of silhouettes allows her to exhibit more violent truth because silhouettes do not show facial expressions. And racism is a topic most white Americans as well as Canadians are afraid to discuss and admit. And Walker wants viewers uncomfortable with the subject to think about racism and why it's challenging for people to confront it. In this particular image, Walker has kind of submerged you in a room and you're looking at racism and these depictions of these silhouettes from all different sides. So she's really kind of throwing the idea of racism and the different depictions of what that means and putting that in front of you and really confronting you with it. So connecting this to high school students, there was a survey done. It was the first kind of its survey commissioned by the CBC with 4,000 youths aged 14 to 21. More than half of young people that identified as visible minorities say they've been subjected to racist names or comments, and 1 in 8 said it happened more than 5 times. So students today are facing the racism that Kara Walker analyzes in her work. And as Kara addressed, these issues are very present in the world of today's youth. So by using Kara Walker's work as kind of an outlet to speak about racism and look at it through a visual art lens, it's something that creates a gateway between, a hard topic to talk about as well as art in the curriculum, and it merges together to have those hard discussions about racism.
All right, once students know who Kara Walker is and have been introduced to her work, this is an assignment you can do in a high school visual arts classroom. This assignment revolves around storytelling using visual art and as well brings in Black history in Canada into the classroom. So the Canadian Encyclopedia website has a timeline of Canadian Black history, and this timeline is centered around specific events. So in this assignment, students would choose an event from this timeline, or if they choose, they can do a personal story as long as it revolves around Black history in Canada. So for instance, maybe it's the story of how their family came to Canada. Now, once they choose this story, they have to come up with a visual representation of this story, of this event, similar to how Kara Walker represents her the story of slavery in the US. And now to create a visual art piece, you can choose to either do it with cutout paper silhouettes like Kara Walker did, or linocut printing would also be well used for this assignment. So this is an example from the Art Institute of Chicago, the 2013 curriculum fair. They did some work based on the work of Kara Walker. So this is some visual silhouette storytelling that high school students did using black paper. And this is the Linocut method. So because of the visual representation of the ink on paper, it lends itself well to be making silhouettes. So in this case, each student could come up with an image and students could work in groups to come up with a sequential visual story. For more information on how to do Linocut printing, there's a link on the slideshow, which will be uploaded in the YouTube link as well. The value of using this assignment in the classroom: students learn visual literacy in terms of how images can communicate personal stories. Black Canadian stories will be brought into the classroom, as well as Black Canadian history. And students can learn principles of design, including the principle of contrast, balance for their images, emphasis on how to lead a viewer through the story, and proportion and scale. Thank you.